Good morning, everyone. It's been the coolest August I remember in years and years. It's almost as if, I guess, global warming's taking a break here. It's been so pleasant ever since August started. It's been like this cool mornings, cool days. Uh, just absolutely pleasant, as if we're already in fall. And fall, I have to say, though I like every season, fall is most likely one of my favorite ones. It's also a season that now we have to start thinking about getting wood in. We got the hay, get enough sawdust so you're not stranded suddenly where you're going, I'm not going out on those icy roads, little roads to go get sawdust. So many things to get ready for, right? Yes, start to get ready for, start to thinking about getting ready for wintertime. Oh, though still have fall coming, yeah. And fall is just, again, the perfect temperature often to get things done, right? Yes. And my vegetables are waiting for me at home. Uh, Lots to do when I get home. Yes, and I'm excited too. I had such an exciting time here. I got about another week here, I think, maybe 10 days, so we'll see. Today is my oldest child's birthday. Yes. Ay, ay, ay. So many years ago. Every birthday that comes around with my children, I remember the day as if it were, what, today. No different today. And just before, and then my other daughter's birthday was 3 days ago. And then my son's birthday is coming up September 2nd. Ha ha ha, yeah, right, yeah. So close together. mm. uh, I saw a video of a young woman. It was difficult to listen to. I'd say any mother that would hear something like that would be somewhat disturbed. And I thought, how do we celebrate birthdays, actually? Why is it that there are people like this young woman out there that think that to spout the nonsense she did is okay? And again, I'd say, should that be a little bit of an eye-opener to the rest of us on how are we celebrating birthdays and how should they be celebrated? Huh? She said that she wasn't asked to be born and that her parents didn't ask her. That, well, how would one ask? Well, one can go to a seer or someone that lays cards or some psychic and ask if the child wants to be born. And if it's a no, then you get rid of it, kind of thing. But it was basically about her and how her parents didn't ask her to be born. Okay? I have no idea how anybody gets to that point to say things like that. I don't know. I'd have to talk to this woman and find out, okay, what's going on in your life. And, of course, what comes to mind? One of the commandments. Thou shalt honor thy father and thy mother. I guess guys have their own ideas on how they, as fathers, should be honored. Yes, according to God's will. I don't know. I'd have to ask some guys on their thoughts about it. But as a woman, as a mother, I think one of the things is the birthdays of our children. And I think until up to the age of 10, yes, one lets the child know how one appreciates that they were born, that they are their children, and have the gifts and the birthday cake. But then when the child reaches 10, they should be taught to honor the mother for their birthday. Yes? And it should be kind of switched around. The child should bring gifts and make a birthday cake. Right? Of course, with the father together. And yes, okay. Well, what about the father wasn't, okay, if you know the conception date, then how about honoring the father then? Okay, just saying. But considering what women go through to give birth, okay, now you can just be put to sleep and you still hurt afterwards. I mean, come on. Well, there's painkillers for all that. Okay, all right. You don't have to breastfeed anymore. I mean, it's okay. But still, all right? So I'm talking, all right, I don't know, from the old days, my days, having children. No meds, no epidurals, no. And I had them at home. Of course, I would not ever give up any of those experiences for lesser pain. And then again, my stories are also, why can't every woman have children the way I did? So easy in a way. I had such wonderful guidance in my midwives, specifically one. I had the support of the family. It was just all around every time and so easy, as if angels carried most of the pain. It never lingered. As I said, women who go through hours and hours of contractions, I never had that. And yeah, anyway, so I wish every woman could have children. I pray every woman can have children the way I had them. Yeah, it was painful, but nothing like what I hear most women go through. Yes, okay. Or did at one time. So that's what I think. After the age of 10, the children should honor their mother on their birthdays, thanking their mothers for giving birth to them, going through that pain. And of course, making their existence available to them to grow. Yes? And maybe children would learn more again on what it means, what that commandment means. Honor thy father and thy mother. Yes? Just a thought. Yes? Okay. My gift given again by God. But, of course. Of course. My daughter asking me, would you come and take care of the children during summertime? It's a great honor. I feel very honored that my daughter feels that, yeah, I'm trustworthy and this and that to leave her children in my care, right, for so long and many hours, that, yeah, I'm worthy. And I feel very honored. So, my gift, of course, I'm here, which often doesn't happen that I'm around my children on their birthdays. And, interestingly enough, on my birthday, often they come and visit me. One or two at least. It's a long way to go to come see me for my children where they all live. So to be here and actually have been with two of my daughters on their birthdays is a great present to me. Yeah. From whom as well. Oh. Okay. All right. Must be doing something right. Okay. So we are in 1 Samuel 15. And here we go. Holy war against the Amalekites. Samuel said to Saul, I am the man whom Yahweh sent to anoint you as king of his people Israel. So now listen to the words of Yahweh. This is what Yahweh Sabaoth says. I intend to punish what Amalek did to Israel, laying a trap for him on the way as he was coming up from Egypt. Now go and crush Amalek, but put him under the curse of destruction with all that he possesses. Do not spare him, but kill man and woman, babe and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and donkey. Nice. That's what, oh, did I just talk about? The birth of babies. Honoring women, honoring mothers. And God couldn't care less. Well, they were not his people. Oh, okay, great. Gotcha. All right. Arrogance of people. All right, well, there we go. And also, I thought Samuel had washed his hand of Saul, told him that, well, you didn't follow God's whatever, and so now there's already somebody else in place that he wants. Okay. Again, the guidance and the... all right, it's written down as it is. Saul summoned the people and reviewed them at Telaim. 200,000 foot soldiers. 200,000. And 10,000 men from Judah. Oh, again, they separate this out. Is this all the same stuff still? I'm not getting it. Saul advanced on the town of Amalek and lay in ambush in the riverbed. Saul said to the Kenites, "Go away, leave your homes among the Amalekites, in case I destroy you with them. You acted with faithful love towards all the Israelites when they were coming up from Egypt." So the Kenites moved away from the Amalekites. And the Amalekites didn't notice that? Saul then crushed the Amalekites, beginning at Havilah in the direction of Shur, which is to the east of Egypt. He took Agag, king of Amalekites, alive and executing the curse of destruction, put all the people to the sword. But Saul and the army spared Agag with the best of the sheep and cattle, the fatlings and lambs and all that was good. They did not want to consign these to the curse of destruction. They consigned only what was poor and worthless. Oh. Wow. It kind of brings to... I wonder if when some people read the Bible, this and that, that would be, well, if God considers a baby poor and worthless, which obviously God felt that all the Amalekite babies were worthless, right? Then one can destroy them. So, oh, wow. So if we want to take this as truth, that God was in favor of this, then I guess abortion's fine then. They kept some of the animals because, hey, that's food, that's this, that's that, right? Guess can't eat babies, right? So they consigned only what was poor and worthless. So in the Israelites' eyes, Samuel and Saul, no, I don't think God's eyes. I hope not. Gosh, that would be, all right. It's like, it's not even. There's such a wave of, oh, don't even go there. That's not true. But that could give someone to say, look, it's right there. If a child is worthless to the parents, then they can get rid of it. Done. That's very disturbing. It's interesting on how many different things we come across where one could say, yeah, well, God says it's okay in the Bible. Again, why am I making these videos as well? Besides the restoration for True Father, for God's reputation. To show that how mankind, men, decided how worthless women, mothers, and babies are in their eyes. Oh. When they're not a part of their people. Oh. I think it's all happening within the Israelites as well. I could think of Ishmael and his mama. All right. Just saying. Saul is rejected by Yahweh. The word of Yahweh came to Samuel. I regret having made Saul king. since he has broken his allegiance to me and not carried out my orders. Samuel was appalled and cried to Yahweh all night long. He was appalled because a few cattle and this were not killed. Okay, again, what do the principles of creation, the animals and plants, have to do with mankind's wars against each other? I have no idea. I don't know. Were the sheep and goat from the Amalakites different than the ones from Israel? Were they somehow different? Did they have an extra horn or an extra foot or something? 2 tails? I don't know. Or were they exactly the same? All right, well, here we go. In the morning, Samuel set off to find Saul. Samuel was told Saul has been to Carmel to raise himself a monument there, but now has turned about, moved on, and gone down to Gilgal. When Samuel reached Saul, Saul said, "May you be blessed by Yahweh. I have carried out Yahweh's orders." Samuel replied, "Then what is this bleating of sheep in my ears and the lowing of cattle that I hear?" Saul said, "They have been brought from Amalek, the people having spared the best of the sheep and the cattle to sacrifice them to Yahweh, your God." Your God. Oh, interesting. The rest we have consigned to the curse of destruction. Interesting. What is he saying here, Saul? I guess let's take it as it is, right? I mean, come on now. Right? Otherwise, why is it in here? Why are these stories in here if one says, well, I mean, it's kind of like, well, what is it like? What's the truth here and what's not? What's just stories? Right? Here, Saul says, the people having spared the best of the sheep and cows, so sacrifice them to Yahweh, your God. Well, he didn't say our God, or the God of the Israelites. Your God, Samuel's God. Oh, who was Saul worshipping then? Samuel then said to Saul, "Stop, let me tell you what Yahweh said to me last night." He said, "Go on," Samuel said. "Small as you may be in your own eyes, are you not the leader of the tribes of Israel? Yahweh has anointed you as king of Israel. When Yahweh sent you on a mission, he said to you, go and put those sinners, the Amalekites, under the curse of destruction and make war on them until they are exterminated." Well, aren't the Israelites also all sinners? Are they not? Have they not sinned again and again and again? Why is God making such a difference between the Israelites and the Amalekites, where all the sinners need to be put down? That's not God. This is all just man-made and kind of confusing on what did God actually say in whatever Samuel probably felt just like, man, I have failed God big time in everything. I don't even know where my head stands anymore. And here, are you not the leader of Israel? Who is? Saul or Samuel? Is God talking to Samuel now? Or God's telling Samuel to go and tell Saul, are you not the leader of Israel? Well, okay. Not sure who's talking to whom here. So Samuel then said to Saul, "Stop, let me tell you what Yahweh said to me last night." He said, "Go on," Samuel said. "Small as you may be in your own eyes, are you not the leader of the tribes of Israel?" So it does sound like God's telling Samuel to tell Saul this. Yahweh has anointed you as king of Israel. When Yahweh sent you on a mission, he said to you, go and put those sinners, the Amalekites, under the curse of destruction and make war on them until they are exterminated. Why then did you not obey Yahweh's voice? Why did you fall on the booty and do what is wrong in Yahweh's eyes? Saul replied to Samuel, "But I did obey Yahweh's voice. I went on the mission which Yahweh gave me. I brought back Agag, king of the Amalekites. I put Amalek under the curse of destruction, and from the booty the people have taken the best sheep and cattle of what was under the curse of destruction, only to sacrifice them to Yahweh, your God, in Gilgal." To which Samuel said, "Is Yahweh pleased by burnt offerings and sacrifices, or by obedience to Yahweh's voice? Truly, obedience is better than a sacrifice, submissiveness than the fat of rams. Rebellion is a sin of sorcery, presumption a crime of idolatry. Since you have received Yahweh's word, he has rejected you." Since you have rejected Yahweh's word, he has rejected you as king. But did Samuel follow? Was Samuel obedient to God? Why is Saul where he's at as the king of Israel, which he didn't want to be, really, came down to it? What's the finger pointing here? I think one of the things, again, how to understand properly God's instructions. You can't veer off the Ten Commandments. You just can't. Thou shalt not kill. Well, that's just an individual thing. Doesn't mean that you can't go nation after nation or nation against nation. Yes? I don't know. No, I do know. I do know that neither Samuel nor Saul were obedient to God in any way. And that, I guess, the only way they could still feel somewhat comfortable in their skin is to blame someone else, blame each other. Well, I did do what you just did. And, they really were going to, how many sheep and cattle, and I don't know, was there that they saved? 10? 100? 1,000? 10,000? How many offerings were they going to make of all these animals to God? Samuel's gone. Saul's very clear about that. Huh? Then that's going to fix everything. Why not just do then what God said to do and be done with it? So now Saul's talking his way out of, but I am still doing what, and on top of that, it's even better than what you said I should do. No one gives a hoot about the mothers and the babies. And other women, I don't know, it doesn't say anything about the young women this time. They left that out. It said, they were specific which. Right? Suckling babies, women, mothers with suckling babies. Okay. No one talks about the people that were sacrificed, yes, slaughtered. Yet it's a big deal. Big deal is made out of the sheep and the cattle that was kept alive. Human life, obviously, according to this, means nothing to God. Really. Whoa. Saul asks in vain for pardon. Saul then said to Samuel, I have sinned, having broken Yahweh's order and your instructions because I was afraid of the people and yielded to their demands. Oh! Now please forgive my sin and come back with me so that I can worship Yahweh. Samuel said to Saul, I will not come back with you, since you have rejected Yahweh's word and Yahweh has rejected you as king of Israel. As Samuel turned away to leave, Saul caught at the hem of his cloak, and it tore. And Samuel said to him, Today Yahweh has torn the kingdom of Israel from you and given it to a neighbor of yours who is better than you. Who? The glory of Israel, however, does not lie or go back on his word, not being human and liable to go back on his word. I have sinned, Saul said, but please still show me respect in front of my people's elders and in front of Israel. Come back with me so that I can worship Yahweh your God. Samuel followed Saul back, and Saul worshipped Yahweh. Oh, didn't take much for him to change his mind. I thought that, see, it's just but just good. I mean, it's better to, all right, but forth and back and forth, it seems like just whatever. Death of Agag and departure of Samuel. Samuel then said, Bring me Agag, king of the Amalekites. Agag came towards him unsteadily, saying, Truly death is bitter. Samuel said, As your sword has left women childless, so will your mother be left childless among women. Interesting. I talked about mothers. Honor thy father and thy mother. Samuel then butchered Agag before Yahweh at Gilgal. Samuel left for Ramah, and Saul went up home to Gibeah of Saul. Samuel did not see Saul again till his dying day. Samuel indeed mourned over Saul, but Yahweh regretted having made Saul king of Israel. What does it say here? Yahweh regretted having made Saul king of Israel. Is that the truth? Just ask it. From what we just all read till now, is that the truth? Is that the truth? That Yahweh regretted having made Saul king of Israel. Who made Saul king of Israel? Who did? God? Was it God? Was it Yahweh? Was it? And by doing so, and writing this down the way it is, what else is laid at God's feet? Is that right? Okay, well, there you go. That's the end of 15. Interesting. Oh, our next super chapter 3 is Saul and David. When we come across certain things that may have to do in our own lives, we hear, right? Yes, through the grapevine. I had to learn what that means. Since English is not my first language. Through the grapevine, what's that? What does that mean? Right? You hear things about yourself, about people around you. Yes? And you're going, huh? Well, I never said that. How did that get turned into this? And then, instead of people asking the questions, come to you, for example, did you say that? I heard someone say this. Did you say that? Could you explain, if it is true, could you explain why you said that? And get some clarity and understanding. Right? Yes? Rather than, well, this is what I heard, and I don't like it, and I want it this way. Right? Or, well, I'm going to break with you now because I heard this. Okay, whatever. Right? It's people, regardless what comes through the grapevine, which is gossip and slander often, very little truth in most anything that anyone says that they're not willing to say to the person face to face, in my opinion. Otherwise, I keep my mouth shut. I just keep quiet until I do have to time to say, hey, face to face. I don't even like texting about certain, or messaging about certain things that I know I need to have a face-to-face talk with someone. Right? Yes? Or at least try to call and have a FaceTime face-to-face again, even though it's miles apart. And see the person. Have a good look at the person when I talk to them about certain things. Or again, you laid this at my feet. Why? Where did you get this? And then, if possible, clear up misunderstandings. Or call someone outright what they deserve to be called, and that is a liar. Yes? Had somebody say to me one time um, that some people like to reinvent history. Yes? Sounds like that's a little bit what's going on here in the Old Testament. Reinvent history. And yet, again, when one just knows the Ten Commandments and reads through all of this, and one knows that things that are being laid at God's feet are not true. That is what God wanted, God accepted. That was what God calls obedience to Him, is not true. Okay? Yes? And we can see that through the conflict between Samuel and Saul, and the conflict that Samuel has with being obedient to God, and then lead the people according to that obedience, and try to have the Israelites be what? Obedient. Oh, because God's a tyrant and He wants to dominate mankind? No. Because our Creator knows best what is best for us, right? And to keep us safe, and to keep us happy. Yes? Not just physically, but our spiritual life. Yes? Yeah. All right, so there it is. I became a mother, a mama, the first time 36 years ago. What an amazing day that was. Right? Yeah. And when I see my daughter and my son-in-law with their little family now, the gifts coming from being a woman, becoming a mother, then a grandmother and all that, it's unending and brings absolute happiness and joy to one's heart, to mind, spirit and soul. And it's even better when one knows I've been obedient to God in all of that. I went exactly in the direction that I needed to go. Yes, as a woman, as a mother, as a grandmother. It's amazing. Yes? Yeah, so I thank my mother often for having given birth to me, with all the unhappy circumstances around it that there were of my conception, my birth, and afterwards the struggle my mom went through. I thank her for raising me. There. Yes. Even if one doesn't have a super duper relationship as a child with their parents, because we can carry that in our heart. Because our ultimate parent is who? Yes. Our heavenly parents. Which, in the whole, is father and mother as well. Yes? Yes. Okay. Alright, that's all I have to say today. amazing month of August. So cool, just so pleasant. Which again, one should not never take it upon themselves to decide what nature has in store or how nature is going and what we're doing. And it's always good to, I've talked about this before, how we honor the principles of creation as well. But to presume or assume that certain things about how Earth works when it comes to that. Anyway, God's love and blessings always. May He protect you, and I will talk to y'all another time.